Hey guys, it's Ryan with Big Dog Investing. Thank you guys for tuning into my channel. If you guys could do a couple of things for me, if you guys can go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to my channel if you guys have not done so already. Click the bell notification down below so that YouTube can send you guys notifications whenever I release videos. Watch my videos all the way to the end. And if you guys could share my videos and share my channel with anyone, I'm trying to grow my channel as much as I can, and I definitely need your guys' help in doing so. Getting started today is going to be Wednesday, February 1st. So it's the start of a new month, and it was a great month for cryptocurrency and also stocks in general. Obviously, without a few outliers, but the majority of all investments were up on the day today. So this was great news, and it happened because the Fed released interest rates reports. So we're going to go ahead and talk about that. But there's also two key events that are going to happen tomorrow and also Friday that I would look out for. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. Invest at your guys' own risk. But these two events are definitely going to affect the prices of stocks and crypto in general. But also stay tuned to all the way to the end because we have an important update and some stuff that we're going to talk about towards the end of our video that's going to affect the cryptocurrency market. The total market cap for all cryptocurrencies right now is $1,092 billion. This is a 3.91% increase on the day. Bitcoin right now is currently trading at $23,833. Ethereum is trading at $1,670. And XRP right now is currently trading at 41.31 cents. So overall, the majority of all cryptocurrencies are going to be in the green today, because we had a nice increase in the cryptocurrency market cap. Bitcoin did have a really good day today. Bitcoin did reach a price of $24,157. This was a high for it for this year. So it was great news to see Bitcoin go over 24,000. It did retrace as people were making profit. So they sold some of their initial investments and then are probably trying to buy back in if this price goes lower. In my opinion, I think Bitcoin's going to keep on going up as long as these next two reports that come out tomorrow and Friday are good reports, which I do think that they will be. But this is great news. If we get into our crypto bubbles, we can see our biggest gainers on the day today. LRC is going to be up 23.3%. OP is going to be up 21.1%. And DYDX is going to be up 18.7%. So overall, it was a great day for cryptocurrencies. All cryptocurrencies in the top 100 were up except for Leo, which was down 6.1%. The S&P 500 was up 1.05%, and the NASDAQ was going to be up 2%. This was because the Fed ended up raising rates by a quarter point and signals more ahead. So there could be possibly more rate hikes coming in the near future. But in my opinion, they're going to be small or not going to happen at all. So basically, the Fed comes out and said that they raised the rates by 25 basis points. So for those of you guys that don't know, those 25 basis points accumulate or equate to a 0.25% increase for interest rates. So it's a quarter of a percent of an increase in interest. And it doesn't really sound like a lot, but it can definitely affect markets. But a lot of your guys' hedge funds and also people who invest on their own assume that this was going to happen. It wasn't going to be a drastic increase. It wasn't going to be a 100 basis point increase, which is 1% interest rate increase. So overall, this was great news. Jerome Powell did release a statement, though, when he came out and said that the Fed chair made it clear during his news conference on Wednesday that the central bank planned to be cautious about declaring victory over inflation. He said a couple more rate hikes increases were under discussion to make sure that price pressures came firmly and fully back under control. We can now say for the first time that the disinflationary process has started, Mr. Powell said, but he later added, we will stay the course until the job is done. So this is basically saying that if he needs to, he will raise rates, and he's not opposed to it. But in my opinion, if these next two reports come out pretty good, then I think that we're going to be okay. Tomorrow, but what is it? Profits are going to be released. So these are basically the profits or earnings reports for corporations. Your top three out of your guys' four major companies on the stock market for the S&P 500 are going to be released tomorrow. Apple, Google, and Amazon are your three biggest that are going to release reports. If these earnings reports are good, that means that these companies are profitable. and that basically people are willing to be spending their money rather than saving it, which means that it's really good for markets because people have enough money that they can go out and buy goods and services, and they're not trying to hide or store all of their money. So if this report, Apple, Google, and Amazon end up showing up that they have good earnings reports, that's going to be great news. But also, these three companies did lay off a bunch of employees. And that comes to our report on Friday. So this is going to be our jobs report. So this report basically means that, it's going to determine how many new jobs are added to the US every single month. Um, as you guys can see right here, that you guys can change the output. So I changed it from 2022 to 2022. So from January to December, these are how many jobs were added each month. So when it says 700,000 were added and then 400,000, so you guys can keep on adding the 7 plus the 4, that's 1.1 million jobs, but then you add the 5 right here, that's 1.6 million jobs that were added from January to March. So overall, it seems like a lot of jobs are getting created, but they're really not being created. This is kind of misleading. And this is because a lot of people were on unemployment due to COVID. And now these are individuals finally going back to work and not on unemployment anymore. So we can't really look at this right now and be misconstrued on what's actually going on, because it is nice seeing that these people are going back to work, but this does not mean that we are actually creating these jobs. These are individuals just finally getting back to their regular day jobs. So look out for that report on Friday. If it's over like 500,000 new jobs were added, this could be misleading also, because it's those individuals finally going back to work. If it's a steady increase, anywhere from 200 to about 350,000 new jobs added, I would say that this is good news for our markets. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but I think that that would, have investor confidence, and people are finally going back to work a little bit, and that, it's not individuals that are on unemployment finally getting back into it. I think in 2023, we're now seeing individuals like back into the workplace, and these are just individuals who, are finally getting into the job market. These are individuals that are out of high school and out of college, finally joining the job market, and will be great news. So we'll see what happens with this report, but make sure you guys look out tomorrow and also Friday. I'll be making videos tomorrow and Friday as well to talk about these. Also, with the jobs report, these determine how many people are on unemployment. Right now, the current unemployment rate is 3.5%. So total unemployment people, this is 5.7 million people as of December of 2022. And then up to 2023 in January, this is 2.1 million. So um, of the unemployment insurance claims. So these are people that are trying to get on unemployment. So we can add this number and this number if all of these individuals get their insurance claims approved, which not all of them do, unfortunately. But we're going to go ahead and see. Make sure that after this jobs reports come out, a lot of the times these unemployment rates come out also. Getting into our news from Watcher Guru, the Eurozone inflation falls to 8.5%. So this is a decrease from where it was at. So that was great news for investor confidence. Binance partners with I'm not going to even say this largest airline, and this is great news. Allows customers to convert flight points into crypto. So a lot of people who get credit cards from airlines get flight miles, and now instead of taking those flight miles and buying flights with them, you can convert them to crypto. So this is kind of really good news. North Korean hackers stole a record of 1.7 billion worth of crypto in 2022. And I know this is, kind of steers people wrong. Is like, oh, you guys can get your guys' crypto stolen. Why would you invest in it? Well, if you guys are smart with your guys' crypto, if you guys put it on a cold storage wallet, you guys don't have to worry about having your stuff stolen. But this is, anything, basically you could get mugged walking down the street. So this doesn't, in my opinion, look bad for cryptocurrency as a whole, because you guys know that we do print cash, and China's able to counterfeit our cash within like an hour or 2 hours after it's printed. They can grab a bill and then basically counterfeit it, and then all of those counterfeit bills are now in our circulation also. So that basically accounts for what is stolen also. So in my opinion, this isn't really a bad look, but it's still not good seeing money being stolen. Google is testing its own Chat GPT AI competitor. CNBC reports. So Google right now, that earnings report's going to come out tomorrow, but basically Google's like, nah, we're not going to have any AI competitors. We're going to be the only one that basically deals with AI, and so they're going to try to compete with Chat GTP, which has gained a bunch of followers. They also are going to release a mobile app. So ChatGTP, the company's called OpenAI, is going to launch a mobile app for this. So this is going to be a lot easier for individuals, mainly students, to basically have access to this. And this is, in my opinion, good. This is probably going to be available for Apple and Android users. We've already talked about the Federal Reserve raising the basis points, but the Jerome Powell says that the job market is still very strong. Congress must raise the debt ceiling. So we're right now waiting for Congress to raise the debt ceiling. Our Speaker of the House and our president were supposed to meet today to discuss what the debt ceiling was and kind of come to an agreement. And in my opinion, I don't know when this is officially going to happen, if it's actually going to raise the debt ceiling, but that's probably our biggest. I know I talked about these two, our earnings reports and our jobs reports, but our debt ceiling is probably going to be the biggest impactful thing to our markets if the debt ceiling is not raised. Mark Wahlberg to produce a documentary on the relationship between Sam Bankman-Fried and Binance CEO. Only going to tell how this is going to affect the markets. It's interesting that Mark Wahlberg wants to be a part of this because, in my opinion, a lot of people who were in FTX right now, this includes Tom Brady, Giselle, Steph Curry, and some other, influential people are getting sued right now for their relationship with Sam Bankman-Fried and promoting the FTX exchange token. Um, Meta division lost $13.7 billion in 2022. So they made a bad bet and ended up losing a bunch of money on one of their projects. In my opinion, they make so much money and they can basically take this as a tax write-off. So they can you do their losses on a tax write-off. So essentially, they didn't lose the money. They did, but they didn't because they're just going to write it off on their taxes. And I believe these major corporations like Facebook, which is now Meta, Amazon, Tesla, Google, all of these major corporations, they don't pay anything in federal taxes. So that's going to be interesting. Altcoin Daily came out and said Cardano's new algorithmic stablecoin DJED is now live and on the mainnet with TVL hitting $10 million in 24 hours. ADA is up 4%. So if we go ahead and look at Cardano right now, we'll go ahead and refresh this. Cardano right now is currently trading at 40.29 cents. So this is kind of good news for cryptocurrency. It's another stable coin and just more use case. So that's kind of good news. This one was kind of interesting. So I've never seen this guy, Meta Lawman, until John Deaton replied to him. But he says right here, huge FTX news just in. Texas has filed papers supporting appointment of an independent examiner for FTX. And they brought along their friends. These states have all joined in Alaska, Arkansas, California, Florida, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Kentucky. And the list goes on. I'm not going to repeat, or say all of these states, but these is kind of cool and interesting. John Deaton ended up replying, great job. And then he says, thanks, John, just following in some big footsteps. So this is really cool. Obviously, we need independent examiners because we don't know who is involved with the FTX scandal and how far or deep this corruption ended up going. Crypto Mason, his name is Mason Versluis. Breaking. ALBT is down 60% in one day after a recent hack. Hackers gain access to around 110 million ALBT. This is bad, but I still like Alliance Block as a project. I do not currently hold any, but I have in the past. So, this shows that, we can get hacked at any point in cryptocurrency. This is why a lot of people in the cryptocurrency space say get a cold storage wallet so it's your keys aren't essentially attached to a certain exchange, so you guys can't essentially get hacked because there's no internet access to your cold storage wallet until you hook it up or send it to a hot wallet, which is one that's accessible by the internet. He also came out and says big XRP news. Bitstamp now allows you to send Euro IOUs over the XRP ledger. Bullish on any exchange cooperating and working with XRP. Bitstamp, cool offering. So Bitstamp IOU services. I don't know how I feel about IOUs. Essentially, a lot of people were buying IOUs on Flare token, thinking that the price was going to go up drastically. They were spending, 40, 50 cents on these Flare tokens, and the price ended up dropping to 2 cents. But they ended up buying those tokens at a high price and then losing all of their money. In my opinion, especially if it's going to be an airdrop, I'd wait. But XRP is probably a good look to buy into. Again, no financial advice, but the token's already out. You can't get airdrops of XRP tokens as far as I'm aware of. The only way you can buy it is on certain exchanges. If you guys live in the United States, the only exchange right now, I think right now, is Bitstamp, obviously because of the IOUs if you're in the EU. But I think you can buy them on the US exchange, and then Uphold. Uphold's where I ended up getting some of my XRP tokens. But Coinbase is mainly where I bought them, but right now they've currently been delisted on Coinbase. This was really interesting. So Bloomberg came out with an article today and came out and said Coinbase wins dismissal of lawsuit over unregistered securities. This right here is super important. So Coinbase won dismissal of a lawsuit by consumers alleging that the cryptocurrency exchange facilitated in the sale of unregistered securities on its platform. So a bunch of individuals ended up filing a class action against this. And the judge came out and said that this was basically, unfortunately, this isn't it due to their terms and services. Um, right here, where's it at? So the terms in the agreement flatantly contradict allegations of the lawsuit that the company holds title to the digital assets that are bought and sold on the exchange. So what I get from this right here is that the user agreement flatantly contradicts the allegations in the lawsuit. So basically it says that the company holds the title to the digital assets that are bought and sold on the exchange. So if you guys buy a coin, right, on a exchange like Coinbase, Uphold, Binance, they own or hold your guys' keys to that. So it's like you guys buying something on Robinhood, right? You guys buy a stock. If Robinhood ever goes under, I'm sure in their terms and agreements that they can sell your guys' investments because you kept your stock on their exchange or platform, essentially, if you're using Robinhood. And they can use that as basically leverage and sell it. And then basically they keep the money. So there's a term in cryptocurrency that says not your keys, not your crypto. So a lot of people say get your guys' money or keys, your guys' tokens, your digital assets off of these exchanges. So not your keys, not your crypto. So if you guys have money on Coinbase, if they ever go under, I don't think that they will. They can use your guys' money that you guys have on their exchange as a basically like, savings account, and that can be used to pay for legal fees or whatever fees that they need to keep their exchange afloat. So keep your guys' money off exchanges. This was really cool. Jeremy Hogan came out and says that the UK will be enacting stricter rules on digital assets, but at least the proposed rules are clear. Meanwhile, the US is still like a 3-year-old viciously trying to hammer the cube into a circle hole. So he posted a video if you guys want to watch this. I'm going to go ahead and link all of this stuff in the comments. But in my opinion, this is good. A lot of people in the cryptocurrency world, say like that, it's decentralized, but there needs to be some sort of regulation to protect the investors. The US has fallen strictly behind in that, and they're not enacting clear guidelines or for regulators to regulate exchanges. Or how cryptos basically run, and which cryptocurrencies are considered securities and which ones are considered commodities or basically digital currencies. So this was a good look. I liked this article. I read through it. It was really interesting. There are a lot of strict rules, but in my opinion, strict rules are better than no rules. And the last thing that we're going to talk about right here, Library came out and said that Coinbase should relist XRP. Under the SEC versus Library standard, XRP sold by secondary holders is not a security. So this is really good news for secondary market holders. So if you guys ended up buying any XRP tokens or have any XRP tokens, you guys probably didn't get them from Ripple at all. So whoever bought them off of Ripple and invested in the company early with and got the XRP tokens, sold those tokens to an exchange, and then that is considered a secondary sale if that exchange sells those tokens to us. So they ended up having a hearing yesterday, and this is what the judge came out and said, that basically any secondary sales of the library token are not considered a security, and this would fall under the XRP token also. So this was a good look at a library, and I did give them a follow yesterday. So this is really bullish news for XRP and other digital assets that you guys buy. If you guys aren't buying them from the actual company itself, they're not considered securities under this new standard. So thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. If you guys can invest with the big dog, stay on the porch and have a good one.